why? I think I'm the chosen one to do space time because it's freaking hard. But I can bear the challenge. Maybe I can do it. I don't know. And also, luck plays a huge role, guys.
Yes.
You can't beat someone who's luckier than you. So just be lucky is my advice.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Behind the Food podcast. Today we have V with us from Space-time. Really, really excited. She's been like popping up all over my LinkedIn feed, so I was like, you need to come on the podcast. And I have Daniel, my co-host,
What is up,
with
guys?
us.
Hey.
So,
Excited to be here.
yeah, you said this is your first podcast. My
Crazy.
first question for you actually is why? Because you're like all over social media, like you're really taking the LinkedIn thing seriously, clearly. Why no podcasts? Why not yet?
Actually, my LinkedIn posts just started blowing up since March this year. Actually, not March. This month, actually. But I've been posting consistently since March. And remember I told you I don't think I'm cool enough. And I still don't think I'm cool enough. And then Jimmy convinced me. He's like, no, disagree. I think you were cool. I'm like, okay, you know what? Same thing with space time. I thought I was never ready to start a company. Same thing with the pod. If I don't do it today or if I don't do this one, then when's going to be, right? I'm never going to be ready anyway. So let me just do it. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I love that answer. And also kind of like speaks to like I think the evolution of a founder. And Daniel, you get this too. It's like you have a weird imposter syndrome moment at like each step of the way where you're like, am I really doing this?
Yep.
And then you realize that like because absolutely no one knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
And the only people that like have anything happen to them are people that just try. It's worth it to just give it a shot.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you aren't like born with that bias towards action, you develop it really, really fast where it's like, hey, I just have to go. Yeah. And not overthink it. Yes, you have to think to a certain degree, but if you overthink it, the opportunities go right by you.
100%. I mean, if I was to start space time a couple months later than I did last year, I probably would have missed on all these opportunities that we recently got from LinkedIn, you know? The same thing with LinkedIn. I was rejected by this general manager when I went pitch in person, you know? And I was like, why did I get rejected by somebody who doesn't know anything about beverages? So I was pretty mad. I went to write something on LinkedIn that had nothing to do with, you know, that incident. But it blew up and then it just kept on going.
The CPG community on LinkedIn is really cool.
Amazing.
And I like love
Way
hearing
better
stories
than
like that. Yeah, it is way better than finance. Which like ironically was like my background as like a college student. I was like, oh, which this seems to be a tale as old as time. Stop you if you've heard it before. Someone goes to college and they realize like they should do finance because they're like seems like a good idea. They do that, they get out of school, they're like, I'm going to apply for investment banking jobs. They get rejected by everybody. They proceed to get like some low tier job in finance, and then they decide I'm going to become a founder, and that ends up being like the greatest thing that ever happened to them.
Yeah.
I think I speak for myself and a lot of other people when I say like that. Literally, that is a good path.
Yeah. You did finance too?
Yeah.
Wow. Me too.
That's you, me, Jake Carls, lots of other people. I think. Yeah, apparently that's like breeding like good like CPG founders when they become disillusioned. But yeah, where was I headed with that question? I don't remember. Oh yeah. So you were in school and then like you I guess decided to take the leap. What was kind of like the factor that made you want to start a beverage brand? Because you mentioned you're like someone rejected me who knew nothing about beverage. I find that to be really common, like in the investor space, is like beverage is a very specific industry that I also know not enough about at all. It's really, really difficult.
It's
if
hard.
I was giving a friend advice, I would tell them, don't do this.
No.
But you did it, which to your credit, it's awesome.
Good friends don't advise each other into selling beverages or CBD in general. or
No.
CBT. If we're already in here, we gotta wing it. But like nobody should join this insanity. Anyway, so I was speaking of the finance career path. I was pretty lucky to have a very supportive father. He's an entrepreneur. When on my first day of college, he sat me down and he said, "Okay, I'm gonna give you everything you need for the next 4 years. I need you to do one thing. You gotta think big. You gotta think about what you're gonna do after college. I don't pay for your college for you to work a minimum wage job and then, you don't need to go from 0 to 1 because I've already gone from 0 to 1. Now I need you to go from 1 to 10. So he said, if you're gonna get a random finance job that pays you 100K a year, which is actually not a bad idea at all for an entry level. For 100K is a lot. But he said, you gotta go back to Vietnam, where I'm from, and I'm gonna show you how to make money. If you're gonna go work a finance job, I'll leave it. I'll show you how to make money. But if you're gonna start a company, I'm here to support. So he's always wanted me to start a company on my own. I've come to him with many ideas. He didn't support everything I proposed, but when I proposed the idea of space time, he said, "Yeah, you gotta do it."
That's
So
so
he was
fascinating.
behind the most difficult one, which I think is amazing. I love that. Like he was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
this is the best one." Yeah, that's great. That speaks to the validity of the idea for sure. That like a seasoned founder was like, "Yep, this is the lane you should go in."
That also
Yeah.
blows my mind because, like, most parents, my wife's parents are entrepreneurs, and like she
Mm.
came from a family like that. And when we started No Baked, specifically when she started it, because she started it and I was still working my job, um, they literally were like, "Don't do this," which is crazy. Um, I think it is so cool that your father was like supportive, not just supportive, but like push you toward entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Like the
And
greatest gift that I think you can give anybody, personally, in my
exactly. I'm
opinion.
very proud of my parents. And the fact that I was born and raised in Vietnam just, gives me the global citizen kind of outlook. Like I don't see things the way Americans see things here. And I can also apply a lot of like a entrepreneurial methodology in Asia to space time. And Asian culture, we're hustlers. We work so hard. We don't stop. Like look at Japanese. They're having burnout and they're still going. Same thing with Vietnamese people. So yeah, but my dad and I are just both delusional. We were both delusional. My mom, on the other side, she's like the CFO of the family office. She'll talk everyone out of the business ideas. She'll always 99% she'll talk my dad out of any business opportunities. And my dad is just like me. He's like, nah, I'll figure it out. I'll start he started a rubber facility and he had zero customers, zero background knowledge. He just said, I'm gonna figure it out as I build the facility. My mom's like, that's a lot of money. We're buying like $1 million worth of inventory every month. And so far it's been unprofitable. It's been 3 years. Everyone's like, I told you. Everyone's like, well, you gotta lose like 19 deals and then you're gonna win one deal, but you have to keep on shooting. So yeah, that's the mindset that I think we all need to have to win in business.
It's wild that he was able to instill that in you, but also it just makes me think more. I've been seeing this more and more because I have small kids. And my oldest daughter is like exhibiting like all these like personality traits that I have, which is so weird because I did not teach her to be like, uh, I'm like very outgoing. So like I did not teach her to do that. I didn't teach her to like be like friendly or like make friends or like do the things that she does or be into the things that she's like into like activity wise. But it just seems that she's like slowly turning into me, but she's
Mm.
a girl, which is crazy. Um, so I guess I get to like
Girls
see what I would be like if
usually,
I had been a girl. But it's like interesting to hear you say like, hey, me and my dad are like that. Because I think that type of like personality that you guys have, like the risk taking, Daniel would call it like degenerate gambling, which
Right.
we all are. Um, you you like kind of are born with that to a certain degree. It's like this
yeah,
tolerance for entrepreneurship because it is scary, risky, and similar to what you just said. Yeah, sometimes you literally take like 19, maybe 99 swings at different ideas, different opportunities, and the 100th one will work. But like to keep going and to have the resilience to do that, I think takes like a special kind of person.
Mm.
It's really, really hard. Um, so when you guys decided to launch Space-time, like when you were like, okay, I'm gonna do this, what what were like the first steps for you? Like
Mm.
how did you get it off the ground? What was the first month like?
Yeah, the first month, I was still in college at the time. So that was 2 months away from my graduation. The morning I had the idea, I called my dad. I said, I want to start a beverage company. I just didn't know whether I was going to do it in Vietnam or Chicago, which is interesting. Like you're between two different countries, two different markets. I ended up launching it in Chicago because Vietnamese people don't have a lot of disposable income to pay for energy drinks, and also they drink a lot of coffee, tea. You have uh like street food vendors everywhere, so you can buy coffee, like literally just pull up to the vendor and buy the drink, so you don't really need canned beverages. So I decided to launch in Chicago, and the first month was just me looking for a formulator, like an R&D third-party company. Eventually, I ended up working with a company out of Los Angeles, and we paid them like 15 grand for 3 flavors, which is a lot. But I was surprised because I thought, okay, when I pay them that much money, they're gonna tell me what drink I should make. But
Mm.
no, because they've done it for so many companies. Now they expect you to come to them and say, hey, listen, I wanted to create a drink that has XYZ ingredients for, whatever demographic. It's going to be called space time, whatever. So you kind of need to know what product you want to bring to the market yourself. So my brother and I came up with the ingredients, the formula stack ourselves. I was actually dating a guy who was really big on energy drinks. That's how I ended up in caffeinated beverage industry now. But before that, I had no idea what Celsius was, what was the craze about Alani. That was very random. Yeah. So just
So
finding an R&D partner, working on branding along the way, and then looking for a co-packer. That one was hard. That one took me like 2 months to finalize. And then we're in charge of supply chain. We don't do turnkey manufacturing like other protein bar companies do. So I have to order all raw materials to my co-man myself, basically handling everything myself.
that's insane. No. But also, I mean, like I guess it's probably given you like a really cool crash course in like supply chain.
Yeah,
Because I had that happen to me when we decided to manufacture in-house, and
you do.
it's
Wow.
hard, like
It's
really
hard.
hard. What would you say has like been the like most difficult part of like I guess like that process, like getting the
Hmm.
like product made? Was it just
Hmm.
finding the co-man in the first place, or have there been other challenges along the way?
I would say when I received the formulation sheets from that company, I was like, what the hell is this? Like, where do I start? And I didn't have a great experience with that company, to be honest, so I'm not gonna work with them on my fourth SKU. But they gave me no instructions. It's just like, here is your drink, good luck on finding the raw materials and good luck on the rest of the journey. And they even messed up my ingredient list. So I emailed the CEO. I say, you gotta pay me $450 for this mistake. There was one typo. They typed vitamin B6 instead of vitamin B3. So I say, that's $450. And I ended up getting that reimbursement. Pre-launch difficulties, I would say just setting up everything, and most importantly, preparing for things mentally, because I had no idea how to run a company, let alone running a beverage company. which is one of the hardest categories out there. So I was just constantly learning, like reading books, like watching podcasts, but you don't actually learn how to do until you do it. So there are two types of challenges: pre-launch and launch. So for after launch, the hardest problem is just marketing. How do we
Yeah.
get more eyeballs on our product and get people to try the drinks, which is not easy because not like protein bar companies where you can, like run ads on mouth-watering static images, or you have UGC creators like opening up the protein bar pack and then showing the chewiness of it. You can't do that with beverage. So now you have to sample to people on the street, which we've been doing. We've been going to office buildings. We've been setting up tables in front of my friends' coffee shops, and just just sample to passersby.
That's kind of what you have to do, man. I mean, it's really interesting, like getting off the ground and getting launched, and then realizing, like, I think I've talked to a lot of people with this recently over the last like 3 months. Now that you're saying it, the biggest challenge that I've found that I have, and that also almost everyone else has, as especially as the world has gotten like way more crowded, like digitally, is just building an audience that actually cares about what you're doing, or getting eyeballs, like you said. Like, really giving yourself like the chance to sell to a bunch of people just means getting their attention, and getting people's attention in 2025, soon to be 2026, is literally the most difficult task on earth. It's never been easier and it's never been harder all at the same time. It
Yeah.
absolutely blows my mind. Um yeah, I mean, like there's so many different ways to do it, but like it is
Yeah.
absolutely a nightmare.
I like the
When you
strategy of going to tastings though, because it's like we need to get offline with this. That was my strategy. Make a big bus, paint it, put sound system in it, blast people in the face on the streets, right? Like going offline seems to be the way now because the digital space is so
Right.
crowded.
Guerrilla marketing is the way to go. And we're bootstrapped, so we don't have money to play the meta bloodbath
which you
advertising.
shouldn't.
No one should
Please
do
don't
that.
do that.
Not convert anyway. So I've talked to so many founders, and they asked me why I haven't ran ads, and I'm like, good luck on converting on your marketing dollars because it's not gonna convert for you. And speaking of Jimmy, speaking of attention, I think we have cheap attention on TikTok, right? You can go viral, you can get like 1 million views, and you're gonna get zero sales.
That
Same
means
thing with
nothing.
no, nothing. Same thing with influencer marketing. My friend, he started a vegan whey protein powder. So he's been on Amazon. Now, when he launched, he paid somebody in California 15 grand for 2 videos, and he got 5 sales out of it. And I told him, I say, of course. The good thing is that you at least got 5 sales, because I was expecting.
I mean, it's a lesson that I feel like you kind of have to learn. I have an interesting story that the same thing happened to me, not to the tune of 15 grand. It was actually 7,500. I was working with a really great ad agency. This is like deep pandemic. I think it was July of 2020. I was working with my friend Chandler. He had a really great agency for buying ads, and they made cool creative. And they did creative for like Snow, the teeth whitening brand, a bunch of other like really big e-com brands who were like doing 9 figures in sales. So I thought, if I have them make ad content for us, it'll pop, because like our ads are doing really well. We're killing it. Guys, this is outdated advice. Don't run ads. And don't build a company on paid media, because I did that. It was stupid. But we were spending a lot of money on ads, so we thought like, oh, $7,500, nothing. We could just drop this money and like it will at least improve conversion. Those videos were some of the worst performing videos we ever used, and I was just like disappointed, like just completely disappointed. And the same month, we paid an influencer. He was a large influencer I will not name, and it just did not work. It was the dumbest shit I've ever done. She has like 3 million followers. I thought like, okay, this will to be great for brand awareness. No, like it wasn't good. It was stupid. And then the crazy part about that is the flip side is there have been so many like organic opportunities um over the years where people who with way more followers than this lady and like genuinely famous have like either come into one of our stores, bought our product, posted about it because they're like, this is cool. Or they talk about it somewhere and it's like, oh, well, they're doing this anyways because I'm doing a really good job having like a good product, getting it out there, and eventually, like, these people do exist in the real world. They'll, like promote your product organically, and then maybe at some point down the road you could pay them. But like, dude, it's just like biggest waste of money. Like, I know no one should get me started on this topic because I have a lot of feelings.
I paid 2 people and I cut everything. Same thing with meta ads. I ran for 5 days. I told my brother we need to cut this ASAP because 1 week, 2 weeks from now, things are going to be the same and I'm going to run out of money. So Jimmy, I like one of your posts a couple of weeks ago where you say you've sampled like self-employed, you've sampled working 9 to 5. And I like the word sample. And I've been using the word sample for since. Now we have sampled many different marketing strategies, and my LinkedIn has been carrying my company. Oh my God, I would have been stressed out if I didn't have, hadn't had all these opportunities from LinkedIn. Not speaking of influencer marketing, I think we gotta think about what big companies cannot do, but we can. For example, like Mark Celsius, Red Bull, they can do everything possible, like every marketing strategies they can afford. Now, the only person they can't afford yet is me. I'm not going to work for them. And I'm not talented enough to work for them. They're not going to hire me anyway. So I have more room for errors, like more like freedom to try, improve myself, and just like start a company on my own and figure it out. But I'm never going to work for them. So I'm the only asset that Space-time has that can really break through if I'm good enough. So I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to be better every single day. That's just my strategy.
I think that's how a lot of founders need to start thinking, like
Yep.
exactly what you just said, which is that like you kind of are the thing that they cannot recreate at a large company. And for anyone that has worked at one knows this. I don't really know this very well because I worked in the corporate world for like a year. It's a joke. I've been an entrepreneur my entire life. Daniel has more experience with this than I do, but people are really lazy, like especially at big companies. And big companies are only as good as the human beings that work there. And you can give someone all the money in the world, all the resources, and things will 100% flop for all kinds of reasons. I saw this happen in edible cookie dough, which is very interesting. Nestle's edible cookie dough, RIP, did not do well. And I was freaked out because they launched in the grocery store before we did. We were running like a restaurant brand. So Megan and I had like built scoop shops across the Southeast, and we were like, we want to go into grocery. And then in 2019, Nestle launched their edible cookie dough into grocery. And you would think that Nestle, with all of their money and like literally unlimited resources, would be able to launch products and just kill it. And they don't. It does not work like that. Like there are so many other factors that are at play that I think people discount other than money. And those factors are not only intangible, but they're like completely connected to the founder. Whether it be the brand story, the audience that you can build, the product itself is like uniquely yours. So like it can taste better, perform better, whatever it is, and you probably care a little bit more than the clowns that are working at Nestle. No offense, Nestle.
Yeah.
I saw this recently in your space though. There was this brand. I saw them at like all the trade shows for like a year. And then I saw them launch in Publix with like coolers in the like they had like a fucking like cooler in the like the aisle at Publix, like in the energy drink aisle. Like shit ton of SKUs. It was called Goat or like Speed Goat or some shit.
Oh, I think that's
Never,
Christian Guzman's brand. Wait, is it?
and
No.
I don't know. Am I bad mouthing someone that I know?
Oh,
Is this a bad idea? I'm about to say something that's not very nice.
no, I want to hear
Do
it.
it.
Hold on. I just have to Google them real quick before I do something
Just do
mean.
it. Send it.
Any of
You can always take it back later. Just send it.
I could take it back later. It's called Goat Fuel. Yeah. Okay. So there's this brand, Goat Fuel. I just went to their website. I have no idea who these people are. About someone tell me who you are. Okay. So it's like fucking Jerry Rice and like other like famous people that started this thing, right? So like I don't know them. Sorry, Jerry. I don't know you right now, and I'm gonna shit on your company. They obviously had unlimited money. They developed a bunch of clowny flavors. I tried it at the trade show. It's not very good. Like I'd rather drink a Celsius. I wouldn't drink an Alani. I think they're way too like the flavors are a little crazy. Like the
Mm-hmm.
blue one especially. Like my friend's obsessed with it, and he's like, I just tastes like sugar to me.
Mm.
Anyways, I tried their stuff. I like energy drinks. I don't drink them all the time, but like I like them when I'm working out, or like I'm going on like a trail run or something. And I tried it, and I was like, I don't like it. It's not good. It's not good enough for me to trade out of like Celsius,
Mm-mm.
because that's generally what I'll buy. Um, and then I saw them everywhere, and the reason I saw them everywhere, and I've actually heard this from other people who have seen this happen before, you can buy distribution into like
Mm-hmm.
$10,000, $20,000, whatever it might
Yep.
be. Big word of advice to everyone. That does not mean that you're going to stay in those doors. It also doesn't mean people will pick your shit up off the shelf. I didn't even know Jerry Rice had anything to do with this dumb drink. I've seen it on the shelf 1,000 times. Maybe if I knew you were connected to it, I'd buy it. Hence why celebrity brands fail constantly. But like, I don't even know your celebrity's attached to it. I don't even know if your celebrity's that great anymore. Sorry,
Right. The product still
people.
has to stand on its own. It still has to
Yeah,
be a product that has a USP that stands in the
but
market.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
my point of saying that is that like there are people like you, V, who are like building like organic brand. I haven't tried your stuff. I need to. We need to start ordering these things before
You
the
do.
episodes,
Yeah,
Daniel.
absolutely.
Messing up. I'm gonna order your drinks.
Thank you.
But I think the like main point behind that is it's like you probably put more thought into like what they taste like and what they perform like and like what you wanted. I've seen your like posts on like fitness. It's like you're clearly into it. You're
Yeah.
like living the thing that you're
Right.
selling. And when you
Mm.
live the thing that you're selling, you put a little more thought than other people put into it. And then it like ends up being worth more than money. Because like money is like a resource that almost anybody can have.
Mm-hmm.
People will hate that I just said that, but it's the truth.
It's
Like,
true.
yeah, it's like it's the least scarce of the resources.
Yeah.
The ones that are the most scarce are like the founder, the brand, the audience, the product, like all these like things that like really matter.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I tell everyone if I was to make money after college, I wouldn't have started a company, a beverage company. There's no money to be made. There's no money to be made in CBG in the first 3 years. So I created a product that I love, I believe in. My brother is obsessed with it. He used to drink 2 monsters every day, and now he can't do
oh,
anything other than space time. He can't even do coffee. So we live the product. We love the product. I saw a white space when I was interning for a finance company. A lot of folks are obsessed with Celsius, and I think Celsius is
same.
way healthier than other energy drinks like Red Bull or Monster, right? They just have a little too much caffeine for the finance bros, the Wall Street people who kind of need a little
Dude,
pick me up around 3 p.m., but they don't want like 200 milligrams of caffeine in a can. So I want to be the Celsius in the workplace or the afternoon pick me up drink for the office. Ever since I said this is a drink for bankers, I've sold more space time than I've ever done because people can relate to that. Even like blue collar people,
dude,
they're like, oh, if bankers drink this, like I'm gonna be good drinking it, right? I'm gonna get the focus, I'm gonna lock in without any side effects. So let me drink it. So we're really niching down and
what
we're
you need to do, V, not to like put words in your mouth and not to like give you unsolicited dumb advice, but like You got to hit up the finance meme accounts and just be like, you're
Yeah,
the
I
only
was
influencer that
gonna.
should post about this shit.
Yeah, I
That
follow a couple of them and they're hilarious. I'm like,
they are
I might
hilarious.
like
Yeah.
the Wall Street memes.
She needs
So,
Yes.
Arbitrage Andy
Yep.
to post
Overheard Wall Street,
about
all those guys. Yeah.
space-time.
oh
Please. That's actually funny. And it's interesting that you found like a niche inside of a niche like that. I had never thought about that before. What let you come up with that idea? Because that's like a spectacular idea.
yeah,
Like linking
right?
it to like an industry and a place and like a time
Mhm.
of day.
Yeah, exactly. So we have location, we have time, we have like a occasion. But I interned for that finance company, and a lot of my colleagues were complaining about how shitty the beverage in the office are. You know, they're like, we're sick of vitamin water, we're sick of ice, sparkling water. We kind of need a little pick me up. And like 3 years ago, adaptogenic sodas or beverage were not a thing. So I said, let me just create something that's healthy for office people. I'm obsessed with the corporate world. Even though I can't work in the corporate world, I like to serve them. I live in, downtown Chicago. I'm very close to all these like office buildings, skyscrapers. I like the lifestyle. I like the routine of dressing up, going into the office, which I don't have access to, but I'm making drinks for a public company. So that's already fulfilling enough. And fun fact, I've had public companies reaching out to me saying they want to carry space time on site. So we're in the process of onboarding with them.
That's
Nice.
really, really cool. Have you done anything with like co-working spaces?
For co-working spaces, I don't know if the host is gonna buy drinks for everyone there, or I don't want to target micro markets yet. I want
Yeah.
corporate accounts to buy
Yeah, like
drinks and offer their
that makes
employees.
sense.
That
That
will
makes a
give
ton
me
of
some
sense.
cash flow, some money to go into retail.
So
That's
kind of the
brilliant.
USP of the product is that it's almost like a light energy drink, if I'm understanding correctly, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very low caffeine. It's just like a kombucha. We have 50 milligrams of organic caffeine in a can, so that's um a quarter of what Celsius has.
Yeah.
Nice. And
It's
then
a lot more approachable.
a lot of the other energy benefits are coming from the B vitamins, the rhodiola, things like that, right? Versus coming from the caffeine, like the nootropics, kind of in a way.
Right. Yeah, we have
Nice.
L-theanine to balance out the jittery effect of caffeine, even though we just have a little bit. And then we have rhodiola, which is an adaptogen. So I've noticed that a lot of people have been taking rhodiola in pills or powder. So I hopped on a trend. Yeah, I try to ride the wave.
Definitely. Definitely.
I mean, it's a trend, but also like I think more of like a sustainable trend. Like
Hmm.
people are can continue to look for like different like supplements or
Hmm.
nootropics that allow them to have like more energy, feel better. Those things
Right.
are like I think those things are here to stay, unless like it turns out that the thing doesn't like really work. But
Hmm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
from like the
Especially in the
obvious, it does.
especially in like the thought workspace, like hitting adenosine receptors over and over doesn't make a lot of sense, right? You need other pathways. And so it makes a lot of sense for people that sit behind a desk all day to like, hey, what other pathways can we use to improve cognition and focus that are not adenosine receptors and just caffeine pounding them, which is just going to cause them to shake all day long. That makes so much sense to me. And there's probably more in that space, right? There's probably other SKUs in the future that target other pathways potentially or something like that. Like I think there's a lot of blue water there for you. There's a lot of room to grow.
Yeah. But when I
Yeah, that's all you.
no, I was just gonna say at Space Time we don't over marketing anything. I'm someone commented on my post yesterday asking, "Hey V, can you explain how your disruptive beverage is different than other beverages?"
I saw
And I
that.
say, yeah, and I say first of all, I don't think anything in food and beverage should be considered disruptive. We're not, like Jimmy said, we're not building rockets. We're not changing people's lives. We're offering something that tastes good, first of all, which is the most important factor in CVG, food and beverage. That tastes good, makes you feel good without hurting your pocket. That's it. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
It is. It really is that simple.
That makes a ton of sense when you say it like that. But I'd say like the one caveat on that is like technically what you're doing is sort of disruptive, and I think in kind of a good way. People people have way too much caffeine, like on a daily basis, like way too much.
Way too much.
And the fact that you were like, oh wait, like maybe people want less is actually smart. Daniel and I had this conversation like 2 weeks ago,
Yep.
where he told me apparently now they have like pills. You can just like take delayed release caffeine pills and like it just hooks you up like all day long. And it's like, that's like, we just take Adderall at this point. Like, what are we doing?
Seriously.
Just go back to snorting Coke in the bathroom. I don't know what is this? You guys are crazy. It doesn't sound healthy, one, and it also doesn't sound enjoyable. I had some moments like as a founder where like we were under very stressful situations, like stressful weeks or like months, where like I would drink like 500 milligrams of caffeine a day or more to like stay awake and like stay locked the fuck in, which is so stupid. And it didn't feel good. Like physiologically, it felt terrible.
Yeah.
I would come off of that and like not be able to sleep normally for like a month.
You feel shittier.
Yeah,
For a long
it's
time.
not good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude. You on the other hand, Daniel, can handle a lot of caffeine, which is definitely the
Yeah.
Colombian inside.
It is. That's genetic. I can't take credit for that. And the fact that my dad's Armenian, like, it's like I got, yeah, there's a lot of caffeine tolerance there.
Yeah.
Even with that, I try not to drink caffeine after 3 p.m. just because I know it's got a 10-hour half-life and that puts me at midnight, right? So I'm trying to get to bed just like everybody else. And yes, I can have a cup of coffee and go straight to bed afterward. That doesn't mean that my sleep quality isn't deteriorated. If I were to track those metrics, I know they'd be down, right? So like even people that have high caffeine tolerances and can get around it, like it's still something that I consciously think about every day. Like how much caffeine am I taking in? Have I had 300 milligrams? Have I had 400? Right? So like yeah, what you're doing makes a ton of sense. It's a trend where I think like we've gone too far. Like there's too much caffeine in everything, and we need to find a way to moderate and balance this, and find other ways of enhancing people's cognition and their focus.
Have you guys ever read the copy on Celsius can, like the burn fat, increase your metabolism call outs that they have on the front label? Do you guys believe in those call outs?
100% I don't.
No, not at all.
I don't know if their consumers are buying into them though. That's us.
I think a lot of them are V. Like to your point, like people are dumb, dude. Like they read. People are also uninformed, and not because they want to be uninformed, but because the biggest gift I've had as being an entrepreneur is I have way too much free time. Like compared to the average person. Now that I have kids, that's not true. I definitely have no free time at all. But if I wanted to, I could like spend an hour and a half a day like researching stuff. Daniel, you send me weird ideas all the time. I know where that's coming from. But like the average person has to like go to work, take care of their kids, do their thing, pay attention to their life. Maybe they can use like now like AI to more quickly get up to date on like a topic, but they're probably not doing like you see it on the can, and like maybe someone who's like inquisitive like UV is like, hey, that sounds fake. But like most people are probably like, all right, I'm trying to lose weight. I guess I'll drink it.
And I think the majority of Celsius drinkers, they don't know how much caffeine there is in the can. They just drink it. And I think they say because it's packed with caffeine, when you drink it, your heart rate goes up and your body heat also goes up. That helps burn fat somehow. I don't know.
The funniest thing about that, like, that just sounds like doing drugs, guys. Like, yeah. You can lose weight. There were fat burners. God, I can't remember what they're called. So there was a thing. Was it thermogenics, the thing that killed people in like the 70s?
Oh, you're thinking of are you thinking of the
they were giving it to housewives. Wait, no, this is in the 40s. It was like during World War II.
Yeah, this was
so
back.
During World War II, ladies that were working in the munitions factories were losing weight. And they found out that it was because they were being exposed to a certain chemical. They then started giving that chemical to them as a fat burner in like the 50s. and then that chemical, and I sound like an idiot because
It's
I'm
a
not saying
stimulant.
the
I can't
name of
remember the name
it.
of it. Yeah.
It is a stimulant. It causes you to burn hotter, literally, and it was killing people.
Oh my.
It's not good for you guys. Taking so much caffeine that you can't stop moving. Just like everyone knows about like NEAT, like non-exercise activity. That like yes, that will be sped up because your ass is wired sitting at your
Yeah.
desk and you just tapping your fingers like a crazy person.
Yeah.
That's
Well, that's
funny,
what
but it
pre-workout does, right? You
yeah.
take one scoop and you go crazy in the gym, which I did for 1 to 2 weeks. I bought this pre-workout Alani 2, 3 years ago when I started bodybuilding. Now I'm raw dogging all my workouts, no belts, no like gear,
Yeah.
whatever, no pre-workout. But when you
Yeah.
started out, like a lot of people kind of need that kick, which I understand. I'm like, all right, once you mature, you're gonna go.
I agree with you. I think that like when you're Daniel's still there. Oh,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
there. Okay. It like freaked out on me for a
Yeah.
second. It was like Daniel's recording and stopped. Yeah, like people always take pre-workout and stuff, but it's like that did never make my workout better. Like usually it's like it just makes you kind of jittery. Again, like it's this overconsumption of caffeine that I think is like not helpful. Whereas like what you're doing with like space time is it's like let's develop a drink for like a specific occasion that actually makes sense, which is like yeah, if I'm kind of tired at like 1 o'clock at the office and I drink 100 milligrams of caffeine, or you said it's 50? I think
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
50, right? Yeah, 50. Yeah, that's like completely sane. First of all, it's probably not addictive. Maybe it's a little addictive. I don't know, but like it's not gonna like wreck your sleep. It's not gonna make you feel weird at 5 o'clock. That's awesome. 200 milligrams of caffeine. People don't realize when they're reading that label, like, dude, that's like super physiological levels of cat. That's crazy. You
Higher
shouldn't
than
do
Red
that.
Bull. I think that's higher than Red Bull and Monster even.
It
It
is.
definitely is.
Yeah.
I've seen they make like a super Celsius or maybe it's not
Oh,
Celsius.
like the big,
There's one.
the
It's
16
like a big
ounce.
can, right? It has 325 milligrams of caffeine in it.
That's crazy.
I
I think
have drank
Seaborn.
that before.
What?
It can't
Wow.
be good for you. I did it one time when I was gonna go like on a trail run. I was like, oh, I'll be running for like 4 hours. This will be fine. It's not great. I honestly I think like taking too much caffeine when you like start a long run is actually a terrible idea because you just
Incredible.
crash out like an hour in,
Yeah.
crash out hard.
So talk to us
Caffeine.
about like distribution, because obviously with anytime you talk, beverage, it's always about, distribution endpoints. I'm guessing you're probably, trying to stay out of that lane. Maybe you're going DTC. Like, what's the distribution strategy right now?
Yeah. I actually have a call with this distribution around 3 p.m. today. They reach out via LinkedIn. I'm with a local small distributor in Chicago, and they do direct store delivery, DSD, to 2 local chains that we're in. But I'm not big on retail channel at this moment because you have to pay for free fills. That's like the slotting fee. Air One would make you pay 4,500 for one SKU to get into their stores, which is insane to me. You also have to pay for either your time and energy to sample, to do demos, or you hire somebody to do that for you. And when you do that, you need a whole team, right? So that's a lot of money going out of the business without any ROI. But our food service on-premise channel is very profitable. We are able to keep the margin to ourselves. We move faster, and also the retail price is way higher than what we're selling at retail, and people are still buying. So, for example, this on-premise market, they're selling one can for 4.5, which is to me insane. Like I probably wouldn't buy myself, but bankers and office workers are still buying. Now at retailers, they're selling 2 for 5. They have frequent promotion going on. I'm not a fan of that, but I have to offer because they want their shoppers to save money. And sometimes we move a lot, sometimes we barely move. Because I think convenience beats affordability. Like if you're in front of office workers, your right target demo, your the right location, right time, they're gonna buy no matter how much you're selling for. So yeah, just figuring out distribution as we go, but I'm gonna start saying no to a lot of opportunities.
Hmm.
Whichever that doesn't make sense, I'm gonna turn down. I'm just not gonna chase distribution for the sake of it because I'm not a big fan of LTV, like lifetime value. If next year I'm not in the business, then I don't have the LTV to pursue, you know. I need to at least make some healthy margin. I don't need to be profitable in the first 3 years,
Yeah.
which I told my dad, I'm like, don't have that expectation for us. That's not gonna happen. But what I can do is I'm gonna try not to burn through all the cash we have by pursuing distribution, like Jimmy said, with gold fuel, because we don't have the capacity to do that. So I'm just gonna let things come to me naturally, organically from LinkedIn, and then hopefully we'll figure something out.
Yeah, it's also not like the greatest strategy in the world to just chase distribution for the sake of it and then not have one, the audience to back it up, which it backfires so fast, like you'll see with that brand. And then the second thing that you really see happen like quite often is people pay those slotting fees to go into accounts, and then it turns out that like they're not going to move any cans,
I'm not gonna move for
drinks in
you.
that account. Yeah, so then it was all for naught, and it doesn't really make any sense in the first place. I agree with you on LTV. I hate that stat. I
I
hate
hate.
that fucking reporting number. I think it's made up. Well, I know it's made up, and
Yeah.
it has been used by a lot of people to do a lot of nefarious things.
Hmm.
Sometimes in the favor of the founders, but like I think that stat in general was made up by people who really wanted to justify losing money in order to capture market
Hmm.
share, which I
100%.
understand to the point that like you want to do that if you're in the right spot financially or you understand what you're doing, right? Like if I said to you, V, like I'll give you $10 million check, but you need to be in a bunch of accounts, you'd say okay. But you might not even take my money if you were like, that's gonna just backfire hard. A lot of people though would rather just like do it in order to get the money and then like roll the dice, I guess. But I don't think that's how the big beverage brands were built, and I don't think that beverage is built quickly either. That's
Yes.
kind of a farce. If you look at Poppy's journey, if you look at Olipop's journey, if you look at the journey of Celsius, that is insane.
Yeah.
Celsius should be like a case study at every business school
Hmm.
for the rest of time.
Yeah.
Also, it's a case study on resilience,
Right.
like decades long journey. Like I didn't
Yes.
even know what Celsius was until like 2018. And
Oh
it's
yeah.
like it turns out they've been around since like I was born. Well, not since I was born, but like for a long time. Um, yeah, pretty wild.
Yeah.
Um,
Which is why I think in CBG, even though yes, you need economies of scale, but you can't grow too fast. It's not like a tech or anything that's breakthrough. It's like farming. It's like agricultural, right? You can't like a fruit can be ripe tomorrow if you want it to. Like it needs time, patience, and if you want it to explode overnight, like crops aren't gonna explode overnight. So same thing
no,
with brands. And that applies across like I think all categories, not just CBG, but for all brands. You need time for brand to mature, for brand
you
awareness to
do. I think that's why tech investors don't like consumer tech anymore because they
mm-mm,
realize that consumer tech is the same thing as CPG. And then they're like, oh, wait, this is terribly hard. Because
nervy. Yeah.
especially in tech, people want everything for free. Like the consumer does not want to pay for shit.
Mm-mm,
Like they don't want to pay Facebook to use Facebook. That's not a thing. So like
mm-mm.
acquiring customers is incredibly expensive. And in that arena, I consider to be like harder than CPG on the brand building side. I think it's the only thing that's
Yeah,
harder because you have
same.
people that literally want something for free.
Right.
No, they do not want to pay for it. If you
Want to
do
pay
have
for
a
it.
subscription model, they're going to cancel.
Mm-hmm.
They'll abuse the whole like 1 month trial thing and then bounce
Yeah.
on you.
With
Like
10 credit cards.
yes, they'll just like cancel their credit card and be like, good
Yeah.
luck. charging me.
The only good thing is that they don't have inventory. They don't have problems with cash flow like we do, right? But they have
Yeah.
other problems.
But to that point, yeah, you have other problems. We all have the same problem though, which it like comes down to like audience building, capturing the
Yep.
consumer, and like selling a consumer product is super, super expensive because like and extremely difficult because how many times do you have to sell something for like $5 before you make $100 million? A lot.
A
Versus
lot.
like how many times do you have to sell like software that costs $20K a year,
Yep.
some business that will never
Mhm.
cancel to make $100 million? It's like that's not hard.
Yeah.
That's pretty simple. I saw a post recently from one of my friends who he posted on LinkedIn. Would you rather own a brand like an ecom brand or a service provider like a tech company? And I was like, are you even asking? What are you doing? And not one person is going to give you the answer that you think you might get. I would rather own a tech company. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a moron, I guess. Here we are. Usually it's passion, right? But like, you're not doing this for money. So the one thing that you had mentioned and what I actually wanted to ask you about, um, you like when did you move to the US? So you grew up in Vietnam. Your parents are still in Vietnam, right? Did you move here just for college?
I moved here for college with my brother.
Yeah. Okay. And now you're staying. So like that transition, first of all, is like already like extremely difficult, and then you like layered entrepreneurship on top of it, which is pretty crazy. Um, what has been like the weirdest thing about moving to the US, like compared to Vietnam, even like non-business related? Like what
Mm,
is strange?
Honestly, I like 90% about everything here. Which is why I'm staying, I'm doing business in Chicago because I like everything about it. I would just say in the first couple years, I cried a lot. I miss home. I miss my parents. I was like a princess back in Vietnam. But I'm a person who, if I'm too comfortable, I would crash out. Like I would be so depressed. So I would always seek discomfort, challenges, anything that's hard. Like even going to the gym is hard. I am pushing harder than like any other girls in my gym because that's the feeling I like. I like a little being a little uncomfortable. Um, I would just say maybe learning how to communicate. I didn't speak English fluently until probably like 2 years ago. Before
Really?
that, I could speak, but I couldn't really elaborate myself. So until space time, I literally last year I was still learning about all the terms about like packaging because I had a meeting with like a sleeve printer, like for the can, and I didn't know a couple words, and I'm like I don't know how to communicate until now. There's still some words that I don't know how to
I
pronounce or
think that
something.
might be a foreign language for everybody.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
the acronyms and bullshit from like
yeah.
the corrugate company or whoever.
No
You're
one
like,
knows
really,
those
guys?
words.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, yeah.
To this day. That's wild though. So like you were not like naturally bilingual. I know Daniel here was raised on two languages,
Right.
so
Wow.
Very
good for
unusual.
you.
Yeah.
Advantage.
Yes. Massive advantage and very unusual. Not something that most people get to have. So I'm very, very grateful for that every day.
It's just easier to do when you're a child. Like I
100%.
cannot imagine like doing what you did, V, and like moving new country and then being like, I'm going to learn the language. It's possible, clearly. You're here. You did it. You learned arguably what is the hardest language on earth because it's not logical at all. We have the dumbest
Yeah,
language.
which is why I think I'm the chosen one to do space time because it's freaking hard. But I can bear the challenge. I can do it. I don't know. And also, luck plays a huge role, guys. You can't beat someone who's luckier than you. So just be lucky is my advice.
Yeah. Also, on the luck thing, I think that's just why people should set themselves up in their head for like some kind of like 20-year journey. Like you should
Mm.
imagine yourself 20 years from now. So like if I decided to go and like embark on a completely new endeavor, like apart from no baked, I would have to say like, okay, I'm gonna be 51 in a month here, like or 2 months here, like 52 years old when this is over. I hope I like it. Because like I'd be fucking old. That's crazy to say out loud, but like that's how long 20 years actually is. Because like right now I am not like arguably I'm a child. Like I'm not old. I like to think of myself as a child with children. I'm still 21. No, I'm 31. But yeah, like I think you have to come to terms in your head with like a very long journey, because the only thing we cannot control in life is luck and serendipity. You cannot control those. We can increase them by just doing certain things, but time is the variable that you don't have to control, you can't control, and it's kind of like as it passes, good things just kind of happen. If you're super prepared to take on the opportunity, like it feels as though people have gotten lucky, but it's like they kind of just were doing it for so long that luck was inevitable at a certain point.
Yeah.
I've met some really incompetent, stupid, successful people, and I'm like, this gives me hope. There's so much hope.
It also makes
Yeah.
me just a little bit mad, but it's
I
okay.
It makes me a little bit mad, Daniel. That's right. It does. It pisses me off. Fuck those people.
Right.
No, don't fuck those people. They deserve everything they've gotten. They worked hard for it sometimes. No, but I
Yeah.
think luck plays such a big role that it kind of
Mhm.
is like, hey, like time is all you've got. And when you're young, like you are actually, like you have quite a bit of it. And
Yeah,
so it
massive
gives you
advantage.
it gives you a huge advantage over everybody else, because like luck is completely related to time, and so therefore the more
Mhm.
time you have, the more luck you inevitably will have than somebody else. Someone who's 80 cannot possibly be as lucky as someone who's 20, because someone who's 20 is just simply going to live longer than them. So they
Exactly.
have more chance to be lucky.
You just have
But
to put
you're
yourself there long enough for luck to come. Obviously, if I didn't start LinkedIn, obviously there would be no luck.
Yeah, and I would love to see people feel like you're lucky to like have this huge LinkedIn following. Good for you. It's like, no, like I've seen you, and I've also seen other people who have blown up like before me. They were extremely consistent. Like
Mhm.
when I met Jake Carls for the first time, who is now like the star of LinkedIn, or like even people that may or may not like me, like Mark Samuels. When I met Mark and Jake, they were at like, I think Jake had like 3,000 followers, maybe, in 2021, and then Mark might have had like 9 or 8. Yeah. If you look at like the period of time that they've been doing this now, it's been much, much longer, but like they started where everybody else started. I think it's important to like look around you and see who like succeeds at like doing certain tasks, like especially in real time with yourself, because you'll be like, oh, it really wasn't luck, was it? Is the fact that like I don't think Jake Jake has posted on LinkedIn like every day and maybe twice a day for like 7 years, maybe. Excuse me, 7 years. Shout out to you, bro. There've been certain people that like they just keep going.
Yeah.
Consistency seems to be the only defining factor. We had Jason Burke on the podcast last week, and he's been doing this for a very, very long time. And like Jason's company, yeah, they're killing it, but like it's like that's just a long time. Like people just don't wrap their head around it. Like all the people that people like to point to and just be like, they're killing it now. It's like the big exits from the last few years, those people started their brands in like 2012,
Mhm.
2010.
Mhm.
Like
Long
I
time
was
ago.
in high school. I was driving a car for the first time, and they were starting their company. So it's like, yeah, like that's a long time ago. It's pretty
Mhm.
crazy.
That's something
Cool.
I have to tell myself, keep in mind, because I'm not patient and I'm young. So I'm like, why is it not working? And you talk about brands that exited that started in 2012. Yeah, I was like 11 at the time.
Yeah, you're 11 years old. That's crazy. It's like you think about that perspective, and it gives you like so much appreciation of how long it takes, and also like kind of where you're at in your own journey. All right, guys. Well, we've actually done this for an hour, so V,
Yay.
congratulations. You're good at it.
Thank you.
It's not that hard.
My pleasure.
Um, so tell everyone where they can find Space Time. if they want to support the brand, and then where they can follow you.
Yeah,
And
our
we'll wrap this
website
up.
is spacetimedrinks.com. Same handle on Instagram, spacetimedrinks. And my Instagram handle is a little hard to like spell out, but yeah, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube,
Cool.
we're on all social media channels. So follow us, please, and check us out on Amazon as well.
Sweet.
Awesome.
All right, guys, this has been another awesome episode. Thank you for hanging out.